Smoke drifted through the village like a fading nightmare. But where chaos once ruled, silence now stood heavy and uncertain. In the center of the broken street lay a man. No green skin, no towering muscles, no roar. Just a fragile human body, unconscious, breathing softly against the cracked earth. Isla knelt beside him, her heart pounding against her ribs. Just moments ago, this man had been a giant, a force of nature powerful enough to stop missiles mid-air. Now he looked breakable, vulnerable. She gently touched his shoulder. "Hey, can you hear me?" No response. Around them, villagers slowly emerged from hiding. Doors creaked open. Curtains shifted. Children peeked from behind their mothers, their small faces filled with a mixture of fear and curiosity. Whispers filled the air, like wind rustling through dry leaves. Where did the monster go? Is he dead? He saved us. Isla looked up, her gaze firm as she met the eyes of the onlookers. "He's not a monster," she said, her voice clear and strong. "He's just human." Far above, the helicopters hovered at a distance, regrouping. Their advanced sensors had seen the transformation. They had witnessed the impossible, and they were afraid. Isla noticed the soldiers preparing again new weapons, new strategies. Their resolve was unshaken. "They won't stop," she whispered, a knot of dread tightening in her stomach. Suddenly, the man on the ground stirred. His fingers twitched. He groaned softly, pain etched across his face as consciousness slowly returned. Ayla leaned closer. "It's okay," she said, her voice a soothing balm. "You're safe." His eyes fluttered open. They were filled with confusion, like a man waking from a long, terrible dream, lost. He stared at the sky, then at the ruined village, and finally at Allah, where he struggled to speak, his voice raspy. "Where am I?" "You're in a village," Allah replied gently, "and you saved it." The man frowned, struggling to sit up. His muscles ached with a deep, unfamiliar exhaustion. I don't remember." Before Allah could respond, a loudspeaker crackled to life, the metallic voice tearing through the quiet. "Dr. Bruce Banner, you are ordered to surrender immediately." The name echoed through the ruins. Bruce froze. All the color drained from his face, replaced by a pale mask of sheer terror. "They found me," he whispered, his voice barely audible. Ayla's eyes widened in recognition. "Dr. Banner," he nodded slowly, the weight of the world settling on his shoulders. "I become something else when I lose control." His hands began to shake, a tremor he couldn't stop. "I hurt people." Ayla shook her head, her conviction unwavering. "No, you protected us." Bruce looked at her, disbelief filling his eyes. How could she not see the monster he was? "I can't stay," he said urgently, scrambling to his feet. "If they push me, he'll come back." As if summoned by fear itself, his heartbeat began to race, a frantic drum against his ribs. His breath quickened, coming in ragged gasps. His eyes flashed with a familiar green spark of pain. "No, no, not now." The ground trembled beneath their feet. Ayla grabbed his hand, her touch surprisingly firm. "Look at me," she said, her voice a lifeline in the rising storm. "Stay with me," Bruce tried. He fought with every fiber of his being, focusing on her eyes, on her voice. But the fear was too strong, a tidal wave that overwhelmed him. His body convulsed, bones cracked and shifted with a sickening sound. Skin stretched, tearing at the seams of his clothes. The transformation began anew. The villagers screamed, stumbling back in terror. Green surged across Bruce's body as the Hulk returned larger, stronger, roaring with raw, untamed power. Soldiers opened fire. Bullets rained down, bouncing harmlessly off his impenetrable skin. But this time, something was different. The Hulk did not attack. He stood still, a colossal statue of jade and muscle. He roared not in anger, but in confusion, a soul trapped between two worlds. Ayla stood her ground once more. Her legs trembled with fear, but she did not run. "Hulk," she shouted, her voice piercing the din of battle. The giant turned, his furious gaze locking onto her. She stepped forward, one deliberate step after another. "You're not here to destroy," she said, her voice resonating with an unshakable belief. "You're here to protect." The Hulk's roar softened, the rage in his eyes giving way to something else. His massive fists, once clenched to destroy, slowly unclenched. Just then, a missile streaked across the sky, arcing directly toward the village center. Time seemed to slow. The Hulk moved. He leapt not toward the soldiers, but toward the missile. With impossible speed, he caught it, crushing the deadly warhead in his bare hands. Then another, and another. Each movement was precise, controlled. Buildings were spared. People were unharmed. The Hulk positioned himself at the edge of the villager living shield, a guardian made of gamer-fueled might. The villagers watched in awe, their fear replaced by a profound sense of wonder. This wasn't mindless rage. This was purpose. The soldiers retreated, stunned into silence. "He's controlling it." One of them whispered over the comms, his voice filled with disbelief. The Hulk stood tall, his chest rising and falling with deep, steady breaths. He looked back at Ayla. A small, tearful smile touched her lips. "You did it," she said softly, her voice carrying on the wind. The Hulk let out a low, resonant breath. The storm inside him finally calmed. Slowly, painfully, he shrank once more. Bruce Banner collapsed to his knees, utterly spent. Ayla rushed to him, supporting his weight. "You're not alone anymore," she said, her hand on his shoulder. Bruce looked at the village, the people who no longer hid from him. He saw not fear in their eyes, but gratitude. For the first time, he whispered, a tremor of emotion in his voice. "I don't feel like a curse." One by one, the villagers stepped closer, their presence a silent thank you. The sun broke through the clouds, casting a golden light over the ruined street, bathing them all in its warm embrace. Power does not make a protector. Choice does. And in that village, a monster awakened into something far greater. Guardian, thank you for watching. If this story moved you, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for more episodes.